Here is a silent thief that robs men and women of their greatness, not in loud destruction, but in quiet postponement. It whisper, tomorrow will be better. Tomorrow you will begin. Tomorrow there will be more time. Yet tomorrow never arrives and life slips through the cracks of delay. If you can conquer procrastination, you will not only master time, you will master destiny. Procrastination is not laziness, it is fear wearing a mask. Fear that if you step forward, you may fail. Fear that if you succeed, the responsibility may be greater than you are willing to carry. Fear that your comfort will be disturbed. But hear this truth, destiny was never meant to be comfortable. Growth was never meant to be convenient. You were not created for delay. You were created for movement, for momentum, for action. Time is the currency of your existence. Every moment spent in hesitation is a debt you owe to your future. To waste today is to rob yourself of tomorrow. Understand this. Your delay is not harmless. It is a decision. Every postponed action is a choice to remain where you are, and every choice to remain where you are is a rejection of who you were meant to become. The way out is not waiting for the perfect moment, because perfection is the greatest lie procrastination tells. The way out is clarity. When the vision of who you can be becomes louder than the excuses of who you are now, action becomes the only response. Detachment is your strength. If you wait until you feel like moving, you will never move. Purpose is not tied to feelings. Discipline is not birthed from emotions. You must detach from the comfort of delay, from the illusion of someday, and step into the authority of now. The man or woman who learns to act in the absence of comfort, in the absence of motivation, is the one who bends reality to their will. Do not despise the small steps. Procrastination feeds on the mountain before you, convincing you that the climb is too steep, but progress is made one step at a time. Do one thing, then do another. Each action is a sword cutting through the chains of delay, and with each cut, your freedom expands. Excellence cannot live where procrastination thrives. To delay your work, your dreams, your calling is to delay the transformation of not only your life, but the lives connected to your obedience. You are not just putting off a task, you are postponing the ripple effect of your destiny. Movement is your weapon. Action is your deliverance. The future will not bend to your intentions, it will only bow to your actions. And until you rise and move, until you silence the whisper of later with the roar of now, your destiny waits like a sealed treasure. But the moment you take action, heaven aligns, doors open, and your delay is swallowed by purpose. Time is the most precious gift you have been entrusted with, yet many treat it as though it is endless. To understand the power of time is to recognize that every tick of the clock is a portion of your life you can never retrieve again. Procrastination disguises itself as harmless delay, but in truth it is theft. It steals not in a single day, but in fragments, moments wasted, opportunities lost, dreams postponed until they quietly wither away. When you look back at life, it is rarely the mistakes you regret the most, but the hours you allowed to slip by because you assumed there would be another chance. That is the deception of procrastination. It convinces you that tomorrow is promised when in reality, tomorrow is not guaranteed to anyone. Every great destiny is time sensitive. A seed planted too late misses the season of growth. A harvest neglected too long spoils in the field. In the same way, your purpose demands alignment with time. Delay is not just an inconvenience. It can cost you divine appointments, missed opportunities, and relationships that were meant to move you forward. Life is designed in seasons, and when procrastination causes you to ignore the season you are in, you risk entering the next season unprepared. The power of the present moment cannot be overstated. Now is the only time you truly own. The past is beyond your reach, and the future is shaped by what you do today. Every time you choose to act, you are honoring the gift of time and positioning yourself for growth. But every time you choose to delay, you disrespect the gift and trade progress for stagnation. Procrastination often disguises itself with noble excuses. You tell yourself you are waiting for the right resources, for more clarity, for the perfect conditions. But the truth is, perfection is an illusion. The perfect time does not exist. The only perfect time is now. When you understand this, you stop negotiating with delay and start treating each moment as sacred. Time is not a guarantee. It is a divine loan, and one day the account will close. That is why procrastination is so dangerous. It convinces you to live as if you have an unlimited supply of what is, in reality, the rarest resource of all. Procrastination often hides behind the mask of fear. At its core, delay is rarely about laziness. It is about the deep, unspoken fears that paralyze the soul. Fear of failure whispers that you are not good enough, that your efforts will fall short, that you will be judged if you try and stumble. So instead of moving forward, you pause, waiting for courage to arrive before you act. But courage is never born from waiting. It is forged in movement. Each step you take weakens the grip of fear, while each delay strengthens it. For some, the fear is not of failure, but of success. Success brings responsibility, exposure, and change. It demands that you leave behind the familiar patterns of comfort. And this shift can feel overwhelming. The mind convinces you to stay where you are because safety seems easier than growth. But the truth is, fear of success is just as dangerous as fear of failure, because both keep you trapped in the same place, motionless, stagnant, and unfulfilled. Another form of fear that fuels procrastination is the fear of judgment. Many hesitate to act because they are consumed by what others might think or say. This fear is a prison, holding your potential hostage to the opinions of people who often have no role in your destiny. Every time you delay because of judgment, you are surrendering your power to voices that should not define your path. Fear also thrives on uncertainty. The unknown feels intimidating because it cannot be controlled. The human mind craves security, and so it stalls when the outcome is unclear. But life was never designed to be fully predictable. The path of purpose always involves steps taken in faith, not certainty. By procrastinating, you choose the illusion of control over the possibility of transformation. What fear does most effectively is disguise itself as logic. It tells you to wait until you are fully prepared, until the risks are lower, until the time feels right. Yet those conditions never truly come. The real battle is not against tasks left undone, but against the fear that convinces you to leave them undone. To overcome procrastination, you must strip fear of its power by acting in spite of it, understanding that fear will always be present, but it does not have to dictate your choices. The moment you act, fear begins to lose its voice. Procrastination thrives on perfectionism. The desire to wait until everything is flawless becomes a silent thief of time, convincing you that conditions must be ideal before you move forward. Perfectionism creates the illusion that only when every detail is polished, every plan is secure, and every potential outcome is guaranteed will you be worthy to begin. But this mindset is dangerous because it paralyzes progress and leaves dreams stranded in the realm of imagination. The truth is, life does not reward perfection, it rewards action. Every achievement that has ever shaped history was born out of imperfect beginnings. Perfectionism often disguises itself as diligence or high standards, but beneath it lies fear. Fear of criticism, fear of not being enough, fear of exposing flaws to the world. So you polish endlessly, revise repeatedly, and delay indefinitely. But no amount of preparation can shield you from imperfection, because imperfection is a part of growth. By waiting for perfect conditions, you deny yourself the lessons that come only through trial, error, and correction. You rob yourself of the opportunity to refine your craft in the fire of experience. There is a hidden pride in perfectionism as well. It suggests that unless your work is flawless, it is not worthy of being seen. But greatness is never defined by flawlessness. It is defined by persistence. The masterpieces of life are created not by those who waited until they were perfect, but by those who dared to show up, imperfect yet determined, willing to learn and improve along the way. Perfectionism also feeds procrastination by magnifying small details until they seem overwhelming. A simple step feels monumental because it must be executed without error. This exaggeration creates paralysis, making it easier to avoid the task altogether. The cycle repeats itself, and in the name of perfection, progress dies. The antidote is acceptance. Acceptance that your first step may not be perfect. Your first attempt may not meet your highest standard, but it will move you forward. Momentum is the key that unlocks mastery, and mastery is never born in stillness. When you release the burden of perfection, you free yourself to act, to create, to grow. Imperfection is not a sign of weakness. It is proof that you are alive, engaged, and willing to journey towards something greater. Time is one of the greatest gifts given to us, yet procrastination treats it as though it is infinite. Every moment delayed is a moment lost, never to return. The tragedy of procrastination is that it creates the illusion of abundance, whispering that there will always be tomorrow, another chance, another season to begin. But life is not endless. It is fleeting, fragile, and unpredictable. The opportunities you postpone today may not be waiting when you are finally ready. Time waits for no one, and procrastination is a slow theft of destiny. When you delay action, you are not just postponing tasks, you are postponing growth. Each day of inaction robs you of the experiences, the wisdom, and the progress you could have made. Over time, these small delays compound into years of regret where you look back and realize that your dreams never materialized, not because they were impossible, but because they were endlessly postponed. The enemy was not the lack of ability, but the quiet habit of delay that ate away at precious time. Time is sacred because it is finite. Money lost can be earned again, opportunities missed can sometimes reappear, but time once gone is gone forever. To procrastinate is to gamble with the most valuable resource you have, assuming there will always be more. But the truth is, no one is promised the certainty of tomorrow. The only time you have full authority over is now, and wasting it is a betrayal of your own potential. Procrastination also blinds you to the urgency of your calling. Each day you wait is a day the world waits for the gift that only you can bring. Somewhere, someone's breakthrough is connected to your courage to act. Yet delay holds you back, not just from your own success, but from fulfilling the impact you were created to have. Time misused does not just affect you, it ripples outward, leaving others waiting for what you carry. When you understand the value of time, procrastination loses its grip. You begin to see every moment as sacred, every hour as an investment in destiny. Acting now becomes not just a choice, but a responsibility to yourself, to your purpose, and to the lives connected to your obedience. Time is the currency of life, and procrastination is the enemy that spends it on nothing. To overcome it, you must treat each day as though it is both a gift and a responsibility. Procrastination thrives in the shadows of distraction. In today's world, where constant noise competes for attention, it is easier than ever to delay what truly matters by surrendering to what is urgent but unimportant. Every time you reach for your phone instead of your purpose, every time you drown in meaningless tasks instead of pursuing your destiny, procrastination wins. Distractions are not always obvious. Sometimes they are disguised as responsibilities, conversations, or even opportunities that look good but do not align with your calling. The subtle danger of distraction is that it feels productive, yet it quietly pulls you further away from the path you were meant to walk. The human mind is naturally drawn to what is easy and pleasurable, and distractions offer immediate gratification. They provide comfort, escape, and temporary relief from the weight of responsibility. But this comfort is deceptive because it robs you of long-term fulfillment. Distraction is procrastination's closest ally. It convinces you that delay is harmless while ensuring you remain trapped in cycles of unfulfilled potential. Over time, the small choices to focus on what doesn't matter accumulate into wasted seasons. What makes distraction even more dangerous is that it numbs you to the urgency of your purpose. The more you indulge it, the harder it becomes to return to what truly matters. Distractions are not passive. They grow stronger with every moment you feed them. The hours spent scrolling, the days spent avoiding, the weeks spent chasing what is irrelevant, eventually harden into years of regret. Distraction doesn't just waste time, it weakens discipline, clouds vision, and creates an internal distance between you and your destiny. The way out is clarity. When you are deeply rooted in your purpose, distractions lose their power. A clear vision exposes the emptiness of meaningless activity and strengthens your resolve to guard your time. Emotional and spiritual detachment also plays a role here. It allows you to say no to what doesn't serve your calling, even when it feels tempting. True strength lies not in resisting distractions for a moment, but in creating an environment and mindset where they no longer hold dominion. To overcome procrastination, you must silence the noise, reclaim your focus, and give your attention only to the things that move you closer to destiny. Procrastination often finds its root in a lack of discipline and consistency. Discipline is the bridge between intention and accomplishment, the inner strength that keeps you moving forward even when motivation fades. Motivation can spark the beginning of a journey, but without discipline, the fire dies quickly, and procrastination takes its place. Discipline is not about doing what feels good, it is about doing what is necessary. It is the daily decision to honor your commitments even when your emotions tell you otherwise. When discipline is weak, delay becomes the default and opportunities slip away unnoticed. Consistency is the companion of discipline, so it is not enough to act once in a burst of energy. Transformation is built through steady, repeated actions over time. Procrastination thrives when you only act when conditions feel favorable. But greatness is not achieved in occasional moments of inspiration. It is forged in the small, repetitive actions that accumulate into mastery. A disciplined and consistent person does not wait for the perfect time. They create progress through persistence. Each day they show up, even in small ways. And this steady rhythm gradually dismantles the habit of delay. The absence of discipline creates cycles of guilt and regret. You tell yourself you will act tomorrow, but when tomorrow arrives, the same excuses repeat. This cycle weakens self-trust because every broken promise to yourself erodes your confidence. Soon you begin to doubt your own ability to follow through, and procrastination gains a stronger grip. Discipline restores that trust by aligning your actions with your words, proving to yourself that you are capable of showing up and staying the course. Consistency also builds momentum, which is one of the most powerful tools against procrastination. The more you act, the easier it becomes to continue. Just as inaction breeds more inaction, steady effort creates its own energy. A single disciplined step today paves the way for another tomorrow. And over time, this chain of consistency becomes unstoppable. Procrastination loses its strength when confronted with the steady, relentless pace of discipline and consistency. True discipline also requires emotional and spiritual detachment, the ability to act not because you feel like it, but because it aligns with your higher purpose. When you rise above the pull of temporary comfort and commit to consistent action, you unlock the power to move from procrastination to progress, from delay to destiny. Procrastination often gains strength because of a distorted mindset, where tasks appear larger and heavier than they truly are. The mind, when filled with doubt, magnifies challenges until they feel insurmountable. A simple step becomes a mountain, and instead of moving forward, you freeze. This illusion is one of procrastination's most powerful weapons. It convinces you that the effort required is beyond your capacity, when in reality, the first step is usually all that's needed to dissolve the weight of delay. A disempowering mindset views time as abundant, mistakes as unacceptable, and effort as overwhelming. It whispers that waiting is safer than trying, that tomorrow will somehow provide more courage, and that only when conditions are ideal will you be ready. This way of thinking creates a cycle of postponement, where each delay feeds the belief that you are not capable or prepared enough. Over time, the mind accepts procrastination as normal, embedding it into your identity. The tragedy is not that you cannot act, but that you begin to believe you were not made to act. Shifting the mindset is the key to breaking this chain. When you begin to view progress as more important than perfection, when you see time as a sacred currency rather than an unlimited resource, procrastination loses its grip. A powerful mindset recognizes that action, no matter how small, is better than waiting for flawless conditions. It accepts that mistakes are not the end, but stepping stones that refine your strength and sharpen your character. Procrastination also feeds on a scarcity mindset, the belief that you lack the ability, resources, or opportunities to succeed. But this is an illusion rooted in fear. The truth is, you already carry within you enough to take the next step. A renewed mindset focuses not on what is missing, but on what is possible. It recognizes that clarity comes from movement, not from standing still. By transforming your mindset, you transform your reality. The habit of delay weakens when you train your thoughts to value action, courage, and persistence over fear and hesitation. Procrastination cannot survive in a mind that believes deeply in the power of now, because such a mind is anchored in purpose, free from illusions, and fueled by faith in its own capacity to rise. Procrastination is not just a habit, it is a silent enemy of destiny. Every moment you surrender to delay, you surrender a piece of your purpose. But when you rise above fear, perfectionism, and distraction, when you embrace discipline, consistency, and the right mindset,